guys, it's Nemo. I'm just going to make a quick low tier guide, so tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 destroyer positioning when playing on domination. So when you're capturing points on domination, I think there's 5 maps that you'll play, but one of them I won't do, and I'll tell you why when we get to it. I've just made this video. It took half an hour. Right, I went through and I started making it. I went through to check that everything was alright after I finished making it, and realised that I hadn't turned the microphone on. So this is take 2. Oh mate, talk about noob, hey. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who watches my content, especially the content that has no audio to it, no commentary to it. The reason for that is because most of my videos uploads are made at night. Now I'm a father of two young boys, 3.5 and 1.5, and they like to talk to me while I'm recording. My division mates and my clan mates will say, you know, I can hear your son in the background. I'm like, yeah, I know, he's talking to me all the time. So the ones without commentary are usually made when, especially my 3.5-year-old is awake. His room's right across from my office and he can see me. Okay, so first things first with destroyers and capturing on Solomon Islands. When you come to the A point, here is a nice safe little corner for you to sit in. And see, we roll in, or we slide in. We're just in there, we just sit in the cap there where no one can come around here and see you. They've got to come right out before they can see you, and by that time they're going to get shot at. Because you should have, if we just bring up the tactical map, you should have battleships hanging around this point, even here, these 4 points here. Oh, I just autopilot. But you can, if battleships are hanging around here and the cruisers are a bit closer to the edge of the cap, you can get fire across all here. So for you guys who don't know, and I would sit in bum in the cap, so put my bum in there with my nose facing that way, so if I do get shot at I can just go up the coastline. If you're playing a destroyer on your own, and it's one destroyer versus one destroyer, or there's 2 destroyers, so each of you are going to go to a cap each. Sit there first until your cap is contested, then move around and spot. So for this side of the map, it's not as clear cut, not as safe. I'd probably sit more here so I could cap and spot. But if you sit like this, bum into the cap, and then you get spotted, then you can just duck around the corner here. Nice and quick. Well, not really quickly. Not in tier 3 and 4. The ships don't accelerate that quickly. So that's point A. Okay. Sorry for the coughing and the dry voice. I've been making videos without audio all afternoon. Oh, I can't believe that. Can't believe that. Alright. You can do, here on the Solomon Islands, you can do these capture points with cruisers too, but cruisers have got such a different role. Your role's not really to cap, it's more to help your destroyers by being aggressive at the capture point, attacking enemy destroyers and fending off other cruisers. So we come to B. B, when you start from the northwest side of the map, it's got the best capture point. I suggest so as random battle teammates, and it's really difficult with random battle teammates because you could type into chat, tell you what everyone wants, but everyone's going to do what they want. We're all human, we're all going to do what we want all the time. You know, we all think we know better and all that sort of stuff. That's why I love having a 3-man division. Here's the capture point that I would sit. You can sit a cruiser in here, you can sit a battleship in here if you want to, but it's a waste of a battleship. But it's a good spot to capture there. What I was saying before is about the random domination maps, is concentrate on two caps. So in this case, on this map I would be doing B and C. Send a scout to A, and maybe a destroyer or a cruiser, like a light cruiser that can move fast and get out of the way. Plenty of aircraft carriers on this map all the time. You have your aircraft carrier scout for you. Scout A, make sure that there's nothing down there. You concentrate on capping C and B, and then you can defend that easily. Or if you come, this is from the northwest side, if you come from the southeast side, maybe even A and B. Form crossfires, have a strong point, and then you can go from there. If you start winning by capping, you make people really nervous that they're going to lose the game. So when you come from the southeast side, in here, nice little spot in here, again, bum in the cap as much as possible. You can nose in, but then you just got to turn around in an area that could be under crossfire or attack. So I'd be sitting there. So we'll go up to C. Now be careful in C, because C is a Clemson captain's paradise. So many times either I've been using my Clemson, or there's been another Clemson captain that'll sit in the corner of C and just torpedo whatever comes around the corner. Destroyers, cruisers, they just fly around blindly. I know that's a tendency for tiers 2, 3, 4, even tiers 5, just to blunder around a corner like a deer in the headlights and get destroyed. So nice and easy. Just come in here. You sit behind the promontory here. Usually a Clemson captain will sit here, and he'll sit more of a north-south sort of way. Not north-south, sorry, east-west on this part of the map. And he'll torpedo out that way towards you. A lot of players will come flying around this corner like this. And then there's a Clemson right there. So again, pretty straightforward on this side. Tuck in here. Nothing can shoot you. They've got to come all the way out into the cap to get you from there. So that's nice, easy destroyer positioning for Solomon Islands. You know, tiers 3 and 4, you'll start playing. You'll usually use this map. I love this map. Love it. Alright, let's head on to another map. Now I said I think there was 5 maps that you usually play on in tiers 3 and 4. At least tier 4 anyway. But one of them we won't be doing, and that's Big Race. So that's Big Race. You know, down here's Destroyer Alley. Destroyers always end up coming down here and torpedoing each other to death. But because it's usually epicenter or standard battle, so you've got your capture point here or there, or you've got the epicenter which comes around here. I've never ever seen it in domination. So I'm not going to do one for that, because if you're playing epicenter, you should be in the middle here anyway, and controlling the center. If you're playing standard battle, where you've got your base and then the enemy base, you should probably still be here anyway as a destroyer, because then you can spot everything. So we're not going to do Big Race. We're going to go to the archipelago. And just so no one walks in my training room while I'm talking to you all. Get the Shenyang back. Off we go. archipelago. So let's have a look at, bring up our tactical map. If you don't know how to do this, the key is M. You can bring this up with M, and you can move your ship by, I can't remember, anyway. Oh, shift. Yeah, you hold down shift and you just set waypoints and off you go. Oh no, it's the wrong map. I set it up wrong. See how it's standard battles? That's okay. We can still do this with standard battle. Because the capture points for domination mode are here, here, and here. Now C has no viable spot to sit in domination. You need to sit with your bum in the cap on the end out here. B has no viable spot, your bum in the cap there and there. What I'll do is I'll go and bring it up and we'll show you. Because this is we're supposed to be doing domination maps, and here I am on standard battle. That's what I get for not paying attention. So standard battle, we want domination. Okay, because this is what you'll usually play. Don't like standard map. Standard battle for destroyers is quite difficult because it doesn't give you a purpose. So what you need to do as a destroyer, let's hope we get this one right. Yeah, there we go, domination. What you need to do as a destroyer in standard battle is scout. Scout, look for torpedoes, and by scout I mean get out ahead of your team, and as I said, watch torpedoes coming in and just spot things, fight enemy destroyers. So as you can see, where I told you those caps were before, the islands aren't really conducive to cover while you're capping, so you need to sit with your bum in, stay close to the island and go out. So we're not going to go and have a look at these ones because it's not really helpful. I'm only going to do a quick one of the strait as well because there's no good ways to hide in strait. So what I'll do is down here in A, when I show you the positions to hide for here, so here and here is your capping, I'll show you what bum into the cap is, broadside into the cap is, and why you shouldn't broadside in the cap. So up here, not really many spots in B. As I said, bum in between these islands here and these islands here. And in C, it's just bum in. Bum in so you can escape quickly. Don't have a broadside in because any destroyer captain worth his salt, especially a Japanese destroyer captain, will torpedo into the cap. And that'll be the end of it. It'll wreck your game. You won't have any fun because you'll be gone straight away. Alright. Here we go. So the only island hugging you can really do in archipelago is on domination mode is down here in A. So my first spot, I'd turn around and I'd bum into the cap, so my nose is sticking out here, and I'd just sit right behind these rocks. Don't crash like I'm about to. But yeah, you just sit there and then they've got to come right around to see you. And if they do, you can just escape quickly out and around the corner. And don't go all the way, just go out and around. Okay, I got spotted. Go around a bit. See if I can get it back. And we'll go back and contest in a second. That sort of attitude. Not, oh shit, I got spotted and I'm gonna run. If you fire, then you might need to run. Okay, so the other spot, and this is what bumming is. is right here. So if you've come from the northwestern side, I'm into the cap. And you cap in here, be careful though, because people fly up through B here and fly around here, so you might get like hard spotted from here. But that's bumming into the cap, okay? So your nose is ready to get out of there as soon as you can. Broadsiding into the cap. Which is dangerous, to say the least. Is sitting like this in the capture point. When you play enough games as a certain ship, you learn where people sit, and you learn where they come through. Most destroyers will come through this gap here, same with cruisers. So if I get down here first from the northwest side, I'll torpedo that gap. If I get here first, before I cross here, I'll send torpedoes there. That's if you're playing a ship that can reach there. Usually if I'm playing this tier, because I like tier 4, I think it's a good place to learn tier 4. You've got aircraft carriers, you've got torpedoes, you've got smoke. Hydro, if you face tier 5 ships, you'll face hydro. Like the Furitaka, I know it has hydro. It's a good place to learn. It's protected matchmaking. You'll only play either against tier 3, 4 or 4, 5. Alright, if you're in 5, tier 5, you may start seeing radar, things like Edinburgh, Belfast, not Edinburgh, sorry, Belfast and Atlanta. Okay, so that's the archipelago. As I said, I wasn't going to show you the top spots around B and C because there's no real island cover to use. We'll just go quickly through Strait because Strait's the same. Now in domination in Strait, if you've seen, I'll show you the map. In case you're new to the game or you haven't played it before, you might be playing tier 1 or you're not sure what I'm talking about. There's just nowhere to really sit your body, so sit your ship, to protect yourself like there is in Ring and Solomon Islands. So we go to the map. And as you can see, up here in A, there is a little bit of area here in the islands that you can sit behind. But if you get there, unless you've come all the way around and you sort of sit in there behind there, you're going to get seen because most people will come straight down into A and then start firing, but they'll do a big UE and run. Big UE and run, that sort of thing. So if you just do a big UE and just park there so you can spot, then you're not going to have to chuck that big UE and turn around and run away. Now in B, no real spots in B. I'd say if I was coming from this side where I am now, I'd probably just bum in here so I can run around the island there, and probably bum in here if I come from this side. But again, this is tiers 3, 4, 5. Usually people they either sit way back or they YOLO in. And so, oh, yeah, YOLO players, hey. Although, campers aren't as good. Got to find that good balance to back each other up and support each other. So in C, there is an island right in the middle, but if you get to that island right in the middle, you're going to get stuck there. So we'll go over and have a look at it, and I'll show you what I mean.
Engine boost activated.
There is, speaking of YOLO players, I was in my Clemson one day on Ring, which is the next map I'll show you. Very common for 3, 4s, 5s. And I was sitting behind this outcrop of land and I was capturing it. The next thing you know, I had a look to my left, my port, whatever you want to call it, and 2 cruisers just came flying into the cap and got obliterated. Sunk. There were torpedoes flying everywhere. There were just shells, battleship shells, cruiser shells, destroyer shells going everywhere. And I don't usually say much in chat that's not helpful. I just said, what the hell with the YOLO cruisers rushing through D? And one of them said something about, he's like, yeah, well, look at the noob little camper just sitting there. I was doing my job. I was capturing the point, and it wasn't contested at the time that they YOLO'd through. Didn't get contested until after they were dead. Oh, I couldn't believe it. I shook my head. Anyway, this is the island here. Island with the fortress on it. Fortress, or is it Alcatraz prison or something like that? So if you get in that far into the cap, usually you're going to get spotted around here if you've gone too far, because destroyers just race for the caps all the time, right? So if you just keep pounding through and going in there and sit behind here, you're going to get stuck. You're going to get stuck because you usually get a battleship and a cruiser trying to flank around the corner here. You'll get cruisers going this way with destroyers as well. So if you've pushed this far, if you get out, go for it. If you're confident enough that you can get in here, sit behind this island and capture the point and get out of there, go for it. You know, if you can do that. If you're not, see, it's dangerous. There's not enough room to hide. If you're not, just sit with your bum in the cap here, spot, and be careful of firing. Alright, so those of you who are new to destroyers or new to the game, I'd probably say more new to the game. If you have a look at my detection, it's 6.3 down here. Yet when I fire, 9.7 it becomes. So I'll show you how. So it's 6.3, I fire, 9.7. See, it jumped up there, and then it goes straight back down because it wasn't spotted. Because I wasn't spotted, it's gone straight back down. But if I was spotted as I fired, it would stay up at 9.7 for 20 seconds after I stop firing. Okay, so the last one is a ring, and this is one of my favorite maps. I love this map. Domination, yep. Get the Shenyang back out. And we'll go and do quick destroyer positioning for this one. I won't do C or I think it's D, B, C or B, which are the primary caps that you already start with. And the reason I won't do them is because if we bring up the tactical map, as you can see, there's not really an outcrop like this or that for you to sit behind. So I would suggest when you capture C and B, you don't worry about trying to look for an island. You either sit bum in, or usually by the time someone gets to B or C, like the teams, they usually have a flank that comes around and dominates the enemy. Usually by the time that it's happened, you don't need to put your bum in the cap. Bum in the cap is for when you're first starting to capture. So when you're first contesting at the beginning of the game, put your backside in the cap, or your stern, whatever you want to call it, and sit there and wait until you get the little marker that says contested. It'll be on the capture bar, which you will see underneath at the bottom of your screen. usually sits around here, capture bar. What will happen is a little yellow signal with a front-on ship will sit on it, and that's when you know that something else is in the cap. If you're not good at communicating with your team and you've got battleships and cruisers around you or other destroyers, if they look at the capture markers up here, A, B, C and D, those are held, squares, diamonds are contested. So what will happen is it'll turn into a diamond if something is in there. Not only that, you'll also see that the green, and I'll show you when we get to capture D, so if you watch D up here, as I go in, it starts to go green. So this is where I would sit, either here or here. Be careful of this valley here because you can get shot and spotted through there. So that's from this side. As you can see, it's going green. What happens is you can see that stop when someone else is in there from the enemy team. And so if you're paying attention to those as a cruiser or as a battleship, you can see, even though your destroyer is not talking to you, not telling you anything, because random battles are hard to get communication out of anybody, you will see that it's contested. Okay, so this is the spot. On the other side, this is the spot where I was seeing as the Clemson story I was telling you about, the cruisers. They just rushed in through here like madmen, YOLOing through and got destroyed. And then I was the one who was called a noob. Had to laugh. It was funny. Had to laugh.
Engine boost activated.
Okay, so go over to A, as I said, no B, no C. By the time you usually capture B and C in this map, it's the teams are either chasing each other around or one team has just been absolutely obliterated. Alrighty. Across open water here. Here can be quite a dangerous area if you get caught, because on these smaller maps your detection rating, you can be seen from the moon even if you are a destroyer with a 6.3 detection. That's without a 10-point captain. With a 10-point captain you can get the Shenyang down to 5.7. I think it's 5.7. Not as much from the moon. Okay, so my spot for this side, if you've come from the C spawn point, is to sit in here. And again, while you're here capturing, they've got to come right around. This island here, a lot of cruisers and battleships will try and flank around that island, but then again your team usually goes around that side, so it'll take them a while to spot you unless they come YOLOing right into the cap, so just charging straight forward. And on the other side, if you start from the B spawn point, is right around here. You can come into this little cove area here. Try not to go in there, you can get stuck in there. If you sit around there, you should be alright. Be careful, maybe not as much bumming the cap on this side right here, because if someone decides to come up the middle, you can get hard spotted there, detected. Alright, so there's a video of my low tier guide maps of where you should probably sit as a destroyer. Or maybe not where you should probably sit, just an idea of safe capping points on the low tier maps. So if you find it useful, you think it's good, I mean, give it a like. If you want to subscribe, go for your life. If not, well, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find whatever I do useful, my content. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.